Hey there, everyone. This is Sherman here at Barrington Real Estate. Today I'm here with Patrick Gulka from Rock Solid Home Inspections. Patrick has been a home inspector for over a decade and is nothing short of an expert in the business. Hey there, Patrick. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, so we're going to delve into the world of home inspections. First of all, tell me where you guys got an idea for the logo.
The logo actually comes from my previous career. I used to work in law enforcement and was big into the union side of things, and that was very similar to our logo. Stumbled across it and had invested a lot of time into my union brothers and sisters, and thought it would be an interesting way to transition into the next portion of my life.
Nice. I feel that it's almost similar to the hammer and sickle, but a little different. Okay, so now about home inspections.
Yes.
Now, the chatbot GBT does this incredible thing where I tell it in 50 words or less.
Yep.
Tell me everything you know about home inspections. Go.
So, essentially speaking, when you buy anything in this world, you don't get you get a manual with that thing. You buy the TV, there's your manual. You buy the fridge, there's your manual. But you buy the house, and they say good luck. We're the manual. We're the manual to the home that you never receive. We are an educational product. It's an educational experience. We're here to empower you to be the homeowner. Knowledge, good, bad, and otherwise. That's the home inspection.
Now, I do want to say that the 50 words was, kind of like a guideline. Probably not going to happen. I'm a little chatterbox. You might be a chatterbox too.
I have been accused of it, yes.
Cut from the same cloth. It's a good cloth. Good cloth. Now I know how the home inspection works on the side of the buyer.
Yes.
Because you want to make sure the home is good before you buy it.
Yep.
But on the side of the seller,
Yep.
give me a really good idea of how that works.
So a lot of times people are trying to sell their homes, and I'm sure you've been in this situation many times where the house on the market, they get their price, they get their offer, and they're happy. And then all of a sudden some home inspector comes through and finds something you just didn't know were there.
Yeah.
For example, how many times have you gone up in your attic? Probably never, because everybody waits till the home inspector comes in and finds that mold,
Yes.
that cracked joisting, that insulation that shouldn't be there, and now you have a problem on your hands. That home inspector finds out that the electrical you thought was okay maybe isn't as good as you think it is. The home inspection before you sell isn't necessarily to produce a product that the buyers can feel comfortable with, because buyers don't know who I am,
Yeah.
and buyers don't know if they can trust me. But I'll tell you this, you know you can trust me, and you know what I'm going to find. You are now empowered to avoid those surprises, which can often lead to things like price reductions or jobs that have to be done prior to close, adding stress to the transaction. Spending a little bit of money up front and knowing what you're selling prepares you for that sale so that you're armed with information. Knowledge is always power,
Yes.
and in the process of a selling part of the transaction, knowing what you're selling is important, and knowing what you're representing is important as well. That's why the home inspection is very valid within the sale process.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to say as well is the education you provide is fantastic on these trips, because we've been on a bunch of these home inspections,
Yes.
and you're really heavy on educating the client and giving them a really good working understanding of A, what's going on, A, what are the risks, B, why is this okay, why is that not okay, and C, what you can do to alleviate this, or if this is just perfectly fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially, I like to consider my company and the way home inspections are done. Our job has three parts. We are 1/3, we are house detective. We go through and we discover the house, we discover its good and bad qualities.
Yeah.
But that second third is very important. We're a teacher. Our job is to teach. This is a teaching experience. The third part of that job is also critical, because that's being the guy who has the answers to the questions. You don't know who to call, you don't know what to do, you don't know what that fix looks like. Who do you think you call?
Ghostbusters.
We're rock solid.
We're rock
Either way. We're there when we're ready to help, and we can help, and to be frank with you, we will help. That's
And
what
I do
we
want to say that your database of contractors is, second to none.
Well, part of that comes from genuinely going out doing the inspections, and if I find good work has been done, I will seek out that contractor and say, hey, I really like what you had done here, I really like what happened, and if you'd like, we can begin to get to know each other, and perhaps you could be part of the referral network.
Yes.
I don't take any kickbacks from my guys. That's not the way this works. It works because I know I can trust them, and if for whatever reason they give me the lack of trust, then they are removed from the list and they're replaced. That's part of the way the network works. It's built on trust and mutually beneficial relationships. That's what it is. I need to be able to refer it out to quality people who are gonna hear the name, hey, Rock Solid sent me, and they're going to go, I need to take care of this person.
Yes.
Because they understand that there is a plethora of leads that comes from that, and that makes us all, well, better and makes us all a lot more money at the end of the day because we're all successful.
And happy clients too, happy clients. Now, one thing you had mentioned is trust.
Yes.
Now, trust is super important when you're obviously working with clients.
Yes.
But how do you choose some good employees to work for you, who you can trust to actually go out and do the job and represent your business?
So we do have a multi-inspector firm, and with that, I've got 3 other inspectors that work with me.
Mm-hmm.
I consider it all a team. I don't think anyone works for me; they all work with me.
Yes.
I believe in being a leader, not a boss. With that being said, the guys that are part of my team have all come very organically. These are guys that I have sparked up friendships with, or people who reached out at the early stage of their inspection career and said, hey, I need to learn. Mm-hmm. And that learning process is not short. Learning to be a home inspector takes an awful lot of time.
Yes.
Because you really have to be able to encounter everything in your day-to-day operation and be able to roll with that punch and have experience so much. So most of the guys that work with me have been apprenticing for about a year or so.
Oh my.
That's a lot of time spent together. That's a lot of trust being built, and that's a lot of learning how to explain things appropriately, learning how to relate to the clients appropriately.
In layman's terms, right? Because some of us clients are kind of laymen, and you guys are the experts,
You need to be able to bring it to a term that everyone can understand, and if you're just basing everything off code and technicals, it doesn't translate. Base it off of common sense, and here's what you need to know. And if you're giving people that, then you're giving people value. The true value of a home inspection is the knowledge and the empowerment. And however you have to empower those people, you do it. But there's also a lot of a wide range of scenarios, from the nervous first-time buyers to the very calm second-time buyers to the people who bring their entire family to the home inspection. And all of those situations offer their own unique challenges. My guys spend time with me to learn how I handle it, and then they develop their own way of doing it that reacts best to their personality, and when it's time for them to hit the road and begin working on their own, we continue that shadowing process, and then they're on their own.
Beauty.
And then they're part of the team, and they represent Rock Solid right alongside me. And I don't lend the company I've built, my name, my logo, to people I don't trust. If you have somebody in front of you that has the Rock Solid logos and they represent my company, they have my complete, full, and 100% trust.
Okay. And then, where's the last place you traveled to?
Actually, we're leaving for PEI tomorrow, just to change up that question. So that's going to be kind of exciting. Previous to that was Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay, Massachusetts. Was that for like the witch trials?
Well, my wife has a big fascination with it. It's actually a great little town, believe it or not. Really cool place to go. Amazing seafood, a lot of history. Extremely old town. There's a tour of a house there built in 1667, and usually when the tour guides find out I'm a home inspector, they let me go a little bit off the beaten path and check some things out. So that makes for things to be a little bit extra fun as well.
Now, if you had to choose one last meal that you're ever going to have, what would that be?
Tacos.
Tacos. Chicken tacos or beef tacos?
I'm probably going to go with those ground beef tacos, hot sauce, guacamole. I am a sucker for tacos. Every day is Taco Tuesday in my world.
Okay. Favorite local business in Hamilton? Local restaurant?
Local restaurant? Oh, there's a lot.
Okay, sorry.
I am really a huge fan of taking people for lunch to a place on Upper James and Rymel called Paninoteca. It is an Italian sandwich shop that's been around for a very long time. The owner, Dominic, and his family are marvelous people. Short sidebar on that one, I actually inspected the house that they were selling.
Okay.
Knew him well at that point. Walked into the backyard of a house I was inspecting. As it turns out, it was Dominic's house. So it wound up being a small world transaction. Love them, great guys. Give them a hug every time I see them and I go in there. So.
Then if you could choose one superpower for all superpowers in the entire world, Marvel and DC universe and everything above, what would your superpower be?
I'd have to go with teleportation, because there's nothing worse than having to drive from inspection to inspection or place to place. And God help me, I wish I could live in a bit of a warmer climate while still being close to my family. So I'll take teleportation anytime I can get it.
Fair enough. And then so that's good for all the questions. How about this? We'll switch up a little bit. I will give you the opportunity to ask me any quick rapid fire questions that you'd like.
Ooh, I like this. Tell me, what is the biggest lesson you have learned during a home inspection?
That there can be the loops on the electrical boxes, so you gotta leave some extra wiring.
Very
just
good.
in case you're gonna
on
your electrical box.
I gotta give you a prop on that one. Tell me why you got into real estate.
Oh boy, well, it's a little bit of a story. Is that many moons ago, we're almost 12, 13 years ago now, my mom was selling our childhood home. I was about to move out, and then eventually I did move out. And my mom kind of says, I was not married at the time, so my mom says, "You're leaving me," because I'm the baby boy of the family.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom was selling her home, and she had a realtor come in whose name I won't mention, just because still licensed or whatever it is. And then I came to visit and sit down. And I was listening to the conversation they were having, and she wasn't sure where she was going to move to, because she was at that point in time living all by herself, and she wasn't sure where she was going to live. So he kind of pressured her to sell, and she did sell. And then the closing was fairly quick. I think it was like a 4 or 5 week closing.
Ooh.
And during that time, she did not know where she was going to live. And she asked me if she could move in with me in my 1-bedroom basement apartment. And, I was going to, but she ended up actually moving into my sister's place because it was vacant at that point in time. But yeah, she had been pressured to sell. An agent who just wanted a commission, and she treated her very poorly. Even said, what if your home goes down in value? And it was really like misleading and kind of taking advantage of my mom. She was a senior at the time, and I thought that, at that point in time I had like 15 years sales experience under my belt, and I thought, I could easily do this job a whole lot better and treat people with more respect. Because it was just a bad experience for her all around, and the whole family too were like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And it was it was not very good. So the reason I got into that was because the second reason I got into it is because my parents both worked when they raised me, and I was raised by my grandma, and when I'm raising my future children, I want to be able to be there in their lives and have that time available for my family and for my friends. And in the business of real estate, I can kind of make that time for family and friends alongside being able to support my family.
My venture into becoming a home inspector was actually very similar to yours. When I was buying homes, I found myself disappointed with the process of home inspections and the lack of transparency and education that was involved. And that is a huge part of why I decided to pursue home inspections, because genuinely I wanted to change the way home inspections were done, and I wanted to make it the process that I wish I had when I was getting them done. And thus the model that we've set out. And I enjoy the fact that our stories are quite similar for the genesis of our very successful careers.
Yeah.
That's a marvelous thing.
You kind of want things to be done right. When you see something that's not done right, you think that you have the skills to do it right. It's almost like justice, right? Just do the right thing.
Do the right thing. I think that is a great point to raise to the entire world these days.
Yeah.
Do the right thing.
And my superpower, it might not be teleportation. My worry is that you teleport into a wall. And half your legs in there, half your legs out. But yeah, that's about it for now. Are there any people you want to give a quick shout out to who have been really important to the success of your business?
We have a tremendous partnership group. We have a huge network. We have a lot of realtors that have been involved in our success, people who took a chance on us early on and have been with us since day one. There's a lot of people, as we've continued to grow, giving us opportunities to speak in front of large crowds, do this type of venture. Also, all the people that supported us during the early parts of the creation of this business. No one more importantly than my wife, who has always been the rock and the support. And whenever your confidence is down, you turn to your wife. Also, my daughters have always been the inspiration, because, as you know, you're having a daughter. There is nothing in this world that is ever going to make you a better man than having a daughter, because she will spend the rest of her entire life measuring every man up to the example you set. And that is an onus of responsibility that you have to take extremely seriously.
Yeah.
And be honored that you're able to take it.
Okay. All right. I love it. Well, everyone, hey, this is Patrick, and he's been pretty fantastic. He's great at doing home inspections, and seems to be a great father and a great husband as well too. Always a pleasure.
Friend.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in. All the best, guys. See you soon.